In this video, I want to tell you about my weird career path, the lessons I learned along the way, and how I found my dream job. I hope my story and my lessons learned will help you in your career and perhaps in finding your passion. When I first learned computer programming in grade 7, I loved it. I was good at it, I found it to be easy, and ultimately that is what led to my decision to become a computer engineer. But 5 or 6 years into my job as an engineer, I realized that I wasn't loving it. I was spending 8 hours in front of a computer, but I wanted to spend more time in front of people. I considered doing an MBA, which is a very original idea for an engineer, but before I invested a lot of my time and money into an MBA, I wanted to be sure that I genuinely wanted to pursue it and I wasn't just jumping on the bandwagon. After all, I did not want to waste yet another degree. Since my husband has an MBA, I asked him a lot of questions about what he learned in business school. I realized that I have no interest in finance, economics, and a bunch of other business stuff. The only parts of MBA that I cared for were HR and marketing. I could study and become an HR manager, but within HR, there are a lot of things that I didn't care for, like payroll, hiring, and firing. The only HR thing I cared for was the training side of things, the leadership and development side of things. So my dream job was to become a corporate trainer. I remember when I was working for Nortel as an engineer in 2007, I attended a 2-day course called Crucial Conversations. At the end of that course, I walked up to the 2 ladies who delivered that course and I said to them, "I want to do what you do." I'm going to pause this story for a second here just to make it clear that I have simplified my story because I didn't want this video to become a 1-hour video. All these things that I mentioned actually happened over a span of 3 or 4 years. So it was something like this. I'm doing my job as an engineer and I'm thinking, maybe I should do an MBA. And then I do nothing for many months. And then maybe I should start looking at GMAT preparation. And then again, nothing for months. And then talking to my husband about MBA and then narrowing down my interest to HR and training. So all that happened over many, many years. So this process of narrowing down and finding down exactly what I want to do wasn't easy. There was a lot of confusion, there was a lot of doubt, and it took a long time for me to narrow down to what exactly it is that I want to do. Now I'll go back to where I left my story. So I said to the 2 ladies who facilitated the course that I want to do what you do. But you see, it's not easy to just quit your job and follow your passion because you still need the money and you still have the sunk cost mentality, meaning that I have spent 4 years of my time and my parents' hard-earned money to become an engineer. How can I just throw all that away? So I decided to play it safe. I decided to take up an online certificate program in adult workplace learning. And it was a self-paced program, so I decided I would take 1 or 2 courses at a time while still continuing my job as an engineer and slowly work towards getting my certificate. And that's what I did. I was also a part of Toastmasters for about 8 years during this time, where I practiced my public speaking. Going to my Toastmasters meetings was very enjoyable, and it reaffirmed for me that public speaking and becoming a trainer is what I was born to do. It took me 2 to 3 years to finish my adult learning certificate, and when I did and I graduated, I thought, this is it. I have arrived. What a fool I was. I started applying online for training jobs. I remember I spent hours trying to craft the perfect resume and the perfect cover letter and customizing them for every single job that I applied to, and then have my husband review it and then send it in. I think I did that for over 50 jobs. And guess what? No luck. Pretty much every training job that I applied to required previous training experience, which I didn't have. So I would just write about my training experience within Toastmasters. I also applied to 2 or 3 volunteer training positions, but surprisingly, I had no luck there either. This painful saga of running on a hamster wheel and not getting anywhere continued for about 3 years. Then my daughter Sanya was born, and I became a full-time stay-at-home mom, and I gave up chasing my passion. I had no time, and also I was fed up of trying. When Sanya turned 1, I joined Toastmasters again. That 1.5-hour Toastmasters meeting every week was a very welcome break from my duties as a mom. Then, in 2015, I participated in the Toastmasters humorous speech competition. I won the club level contest, then the area level contest. At the area level contest, a gentleman named Harvey, who had won previous speech contests himself, approached me and kindly offered some advice to improve my speech for the next level of the competition, which was the division level. I used his advice and I won the division level contest. Harvey was there too. He had some new advice for me to further polish my speech for the next level, which is the district level of the competition, but he didn't have time to share it with me right then. So he gave me his business card and he said, email me and I'll give you some more feedback. When I looked at his business card and read the words Leadership Training Facilitator on it, my eyeballs popped out of my eyes. I wanted to be what he was. So after I had won the district competition, I asked Harvey to meet me for coffee so I could pick his brain about how to get a job in his industry. That coffee meeting ended up with Harvey giving me a job offer. He didn't even know about my adult learning education, but because he had seen me stand on stage and speak in front of 300 people, and he perhaps also noticed my passion for becoming a trainer, he gave me a job. Initially, I was hired to do sales for the leadership training program. I wasn't necessarily interested in doing sales, but I said yes anyway, as it would help me to learn something new, something that I had never done before, and also to get my foot in the door. Doing sales ended up being a very good decision because doing cold calls and meetings with CEOs of companies put me so much outside my comfort zone. And it is only when you go outside of your comfort zone that growth happens. I didn't make a lot of money doing sales, but it improved my confidence so much. And to me, confidence is a way better currency than money. I now feel like I can talk to anybody easily, no matter how high up they are in a company. So even though I ultimately quit my sales job as it wasn't bringing me joy, I am grateful for the opportunity and for the immense growth that it provided me. It was a worthwhile 2-year experiment. During these 2 years, every 6 months or so, I kept on reminding Harvey that I still very much want to teach the leadership workshops myself. When Harvey's co-trainer and the other franchisee of the company, Ken, decided that he didn't want to teach the workshops anymore, Harvey suggested my name. Ken asked me to do a trial class in October 2017. I said yes immediately. I worked very hard on preparing for the trial class. But call it my bad luck or call it whatever you want, the day before the trial class, I developed a flu and a fever. I could have postponed the trial class, but I didn't want to give Ken any reason to not hire me. So I loaded up on meds, I drove to the class location, and did the best I could. And I got the job! That was one of the happiest moments of my life. It took me 10 years to realize my dream. I have been a leadership and management trainer since then, and I love it. So the 7 big career lessons that I've learned are: number 1, do not have sunk cost mentality. Just because you made a decision in the past, for me that decision was to become an engineer, that past decision doesn't mean that you have to suffer in the wrong profession for the rest of your life. Also, time and money invested into education never goes to waste. Because of my engineering and coding background, I am now able to share some stories in my management workshops which bring my own unique flavor to them, and people appreciate them. Lesson number 2, networking is the best and fastest way to get a job. Build your network. Hang out with people who are already in the industry that you want to be in. Join organizations that would allow you to make these connections. For me, this organization was Toastmasters. Lesson number 3, be persistent. Sometimes it can take a long time to realize your dream. For me, it took 10 years. If I didn't have kids, maybe it would have taken 7 years. If I didn't have sunk cost mentality, maybe it would have taken 4 years. But that's okay. I am so grateful to have my kids. I am also grateful for the struggle I had to go through because that makes me appreciate my job so much more. Lesson number 4, follow your passion. It is my passion that allowed me to persist for so long. Passion lights such a fire inside of you that you only see your dream, not the obstacles. But keep in mind that passion can change from time to time, and also you can have more than one passions. Over the last 2 years, my second passion has been meditation and to make meditation easy and accessible for busy people, which is why I started my YouTube channel and called it Crushing Meditation. My new passion is to help people with growth and self-improvement, which I'm trying to accomplish through these videos. And to reflect this, I have changed my channel's name to Grow with Supreet. So follow your passion. I would even go so far as to say, follow your passion and don't follow money. Because if you follow your passion and work hard, money will come. If money doesn't come, some great lessons will come. Lesson number 5, don't measure success with money alone. I would call my sales job a success, even though I didn't make a lot of money, because of the growth in my confidence, networking, and other skills, and the connections I built. Also, as a YouTuber, I haven't made any money yet, but I have learned and grown so much. And also, you can't put a price on the satisfaction I get from knowing that I have helped people. Lesson number 6, be willing to experiment and fail. For me, saying yes to the sales job was an experiment. My thought was, let me do this for 1 year and put in my very best effort and see how it goes. Maybe I'll end up loving this job. That did not happen. Some might look at this and call it a failed experiment, but I'm so glad I said yes to it. In my opinion, and there's a quote which says this, there are no mistakes, only lessons. And finally, lesson number 7, formal education is not everything. When I was in my 20s, I used to give a lot of importance to degrees and which university did you get that degree from. But now I know that your experience and your attitude are way more important in getting a job and in becoming successful. From my personal experience, as well as the discussions I have in my leadership training workshops with managers and owners of companies, I know that formal education is just a tiny piece of the puzzle. What is one career lesson that you have learned? Comment below. Take care and see you in the next video. Okay guys, recording, please be quiet. Please don't do tuck with your feet. No spinning, I said. Okay, do you want more cheese pizza? Go get it yourself. Take one slice, take your plate with you. I'm waiting for you to come back and sit before I start recording, okay Sanya? So make it fast. Just don't make noise, don't play Alexa. Still recording.